You know, it gets very difficult every morning to wake up and realize how great I am. It's very hard. It's not easy, especially when again, like I said, you're as great as I am. Some of you are just not good at all. But you know what isn't good? Talking about this pay-per-view tomorrow night. Backlash 2020 is probably the worst card WWE's put together all year. The show feels unimportant. The championship matches feel unimportant. But as always, we're going to talk about it. This right here is your Backlash full show preview and predictions. I don't know if I can sit and tell you where there's been a period of time where I've been less excited for a wrestling show. Pandemic this, pandemic that, it's just excuses from the top of the food chain as to why their shows are just not good. Just not good at all. This card right here, it's not going to be all bad, but a lot of it is just genuinely not exciting. It's not. It's not. Every championship match has almost no point to it. The women's championship match is a match where anytime I see Nia Jax in a ring, I automatically not interested. And that's not speaking from hating, that's just telling you how I feel. The main event is Drew McIntyre with a chance of actually losing his championship to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's token of appreciation for everything he's done should not come at the expense of Drew McIntyre's title, okay? A United States Championship match, which will probably be very good. A Jeff Hardy and Sheamus feud that is just beginning because it will not finish here. I can promise you that, especially with Extreme Rules coming next month. I would expect that will continue there. And a lot of people are saying Sheamus could get the win tomorrow night. I would have, my original prediction was Jeff Hardy, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense for Sheamus to win because, again, the feud will continue and would result in probably Jeff Hardy winning at Extreme Rules. A women's tag team title match where if the titles change hand, there's only one reason why it would. We're going to talk about all this and then some, folks. This is your Backlash full show preview and predictions. Go nowhere else. Hit the like button, subscribe, push this video out there. You know how it goes. First match I'm going to talk about is a match that could potentially open the show. And you know what I can see from this show, honestly? I can see this show being one of those shows where it starts off better than you thought and then it goes to crap. If WWE has Jeff Hardy and Sheamus, followed by Apollo and Andrade, I think after that first hour, it's just going to go downhill. It seems like it could be one of those shows. Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. This feud was built around Jeff Hardy's alcohol history and Sheamus jumping in. Both have returned in recent months. It says here this is a heated personal rivalry, so I can't see it coming to an end in a simple one-on-one encounter. That's a very good point. This is by Jack Crosby or whoever, CBS Sports. But again, I'm making my own predictions. I'm not rallying onto theirs. So for me, I think Sheamus is the pick here. Now, I wanted to say Jeff Hardy so bad, but again, I think Sheamus, and the reason I say Sheamus is because I think the feud's going to extend beyond Backlash. And that's okay, because to be honest with you, the idea of a Jeff Hardy and Sheamus match in 2020 is not exciting, but when you see kind of how this was built, it adds a little bit more intrigue to it. They kind of brought real-life things from the outside into it, and they made it a little bit more interesting. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the match itself, but I think it's going to be a match that people are interested in just based on the story that's around it. Some people were complaining about Jeff Hardy's alcohol scene. You can't make everyone happy, and I don't mean to sound like one of those people where I'm one of those people where I sound like, oh, you can't make everybody happy. It's true though. I mean, the fans complain that it's not entertaining, which it's not. They take the balance of real life, it's scripted in, make it more entertaining, and now people are complaining that it was overboard. Vince McMahon once committed suicide in an exploding limo. I don't want to hear anything about overboard. Sheamus wins this match, and it builds their feud. It gives Jeff Hardy more fire. The feud will continue, and it should result in Jeff Hardy winning in some sort of gimmick match at Extreme Rules. I'm going with Sheamus to win against Jeff Hardy. United States Championship, Apollo Crews versus Andrade Cien. Apollo Crews was gifted the title. Was it on Martin Luther King Day or whatever it was with the United States Championship? Long overdue. Apollo Crews has felt unimportant for so many years on television. Andrade is bargaining, it says here, into one of the company's top stars, and he absolutely is. If there's any team or any duo that has really seized the pandemic, it's been Andrade Cien. We know how great he is. Now, on paper, Andrade's a much better wrestler than Apollo Crews. But Apollo Crews just won the championship, and regardless of how long he holds on to it, it wouldn't make sense for him to drop it yet. How does this match end? We don't know. There could be some sort of screwy at the end. However, Apollo Crews will retain his United States Championship against Andrade SHEAMUS. That's what I'm going with. I think this is going to be a pretty good match. It could be the best match on the card. And again, once we get, there's 5 championship matches on here. And the craziest thing is that I only care about one. That should show you the type of card that has been constructed. And just those different type of things that they kind of fail to capitalize on. We're going to talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, there's one and only one way that this can go. Well, 2 ways that this can go. First, Sasha and Bayley can retain the Women's Tag Team Championship. To me, personally, I don't think that's the right way. Now, a lot of people will say, why don't you think that? They just won the titles. Or the Iconics win. It would make absolutely 0 sense for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to win the Women's Tag Team titles back. I have no interest in that. But let me tell you this. The Iconics can be given the titles, regardless of what you think about them, and here's why. If this match does not result in Bayley or Sasha turning on one another and spark plugging the feud that would lead to their potential match at SummerSlam for the SmackDown Women's Championship, there's no point. The only way where it is acceptable for Sasha and Bayley to lose the titles is if they're ready to pull the trigger on the Banks and Bayley feud, which is supposed to be going into SummerSlam. Now, we don't know if they're ready to pull that trigger. I mean, it's also, it's the middle of June, so I mean, you want to pull the trigger, but how soon do you do it? I'm not sure that you wait till Extreme Rules. I'm not sure that you wait till the middle of July to pull the trigger on the feud. Some people are saying they don't know if they want to go all in yet with the Sasha Banks and Bayley feud. Me personally, I'm fine either way. If they have Bayley and Sasha retain, it's gonna mean even that much more so later. But if they pull the trigger now, then they do it, and I'm all for that because Bayley and Sasha Banks on the main roster. This is one of those feuds that will have people genuinely interested, and it will result in Sasha Banks being a women's champion again. And not only that, it would happen in Boston. But now here's the thing with SummerSlam. We don't know if SummerSlam's going to go on. It does not look very likely that we'll have arenas, especially in Boston. The virus is better. We're opening stages and we're doing all these things. But at the same time, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like at the end of August. But if that's something that they're willing to do, go for it. Regardless, the only way they should lose the titles would be if if it was some type of heel turn. Raw Women's Championship. God, I couldn't care any less. Oh, I will give WWE credit. They put the title on one of the right women following Becky Lynch's pregnancy announcement. Okay, I will give them that credit. Asuka defends her Raw Women's Championship against Nia Jax. The fact that Nia Jax is in a Women's Championship match blows my mind. I don't like to hate, but I literally, from day one till now, have not seen anything about Nia Jax that impresses me. And again, that's going to come off as very dickish, but that's just how I feel. She doesn't offer me anything. She's, constantly hurting people in the ring. She does not deserve to be in this Raw Women's Championship match. And I say that from what I've seen on TV. I'm not talking about it from a working hard standpoint. There's nothing in this match that's going to, Asuka's going to retain this championship. Lord knows what would happen if Nia Jax won the Raw Women's Championship. Oh my God. They try so hard to push these characters, and Nia Jax, there's just nothing there. There's no substance. It's not there. It's not there. Asuka better retain this Raw Women's Championship before I pour a bowl of cereal on myself with my Backlash review. Asuka retains the Raw Women's Championship, and let's move on to a championship match that's pretty pathetic. Universal Championship match, Braun Strowman versus The Miz and John Morrison. Now, we've seen the different segments and skits over the week. Some of them have been funny, some of them have not. But regardless of all of this, this is not a championship match that anybody cares about because we know what's going to happen. Somebody said, and I'm just reading this now, a showdown with The Fiend is inevitable on the heels of the champ's victory over Bray Wyatt at Money in the Bank. However, it's not going to cost Braun Strowman the Universal Championship. The Miz and Morrison winning would offer absolutely nothing because neither of them should be holding any Universal Championship. But again, keep in mind the Universal Championship has not been important in 4 years. Braun Strowman will retain. What happens in this match, I don't know. I really don't know. The truth be told is that I don't care. I think the end of this show is going to be brutal to get through for a lot of people. It's not a good card. And again, it's not me hating because I love to spread positivity on here. But it's not a good card. It's just not good. Okay? So I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat something that's not good. Braun Strowman versus The Miz and Morrison for the Universal Championship couldn't be any less important. The only thing is that The Fiend awaits. Maybe The Fiend returns here. Maybe he doesn't. But regardless, if he returns, it's still going to result in Braun Strowman retaining his championship. Maybe they will do The Fiend versus Braun Strowman at SummerSlam. Or maybe, this is actually my opinion, not anybody else's. What if Roman Reigns is ready to come back? If Roman Reigns is ready to come back, Braun Strowman can kiss that blueberry Jolly Rancher goodbye. 2 more matches to go through. This match will not be the main event, because when you have a match titled The Greatest Wrestling Match Ever, that will be the main event. WWE Championship Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. WWE has tried so hard to make Bobby Lashley feel relevant on television in a couple weeks, and in a sense, he's felt a little bit more important. But again, Lashley's token of appreciation for everything he's done for the company, and Lashley's look and everything that people like about him should not come at the expense of Drew McIntyre's title reign. Lashley's been good foil for McIntyre. This feud had legs to go beyond Backlash. That said, the title's not moving from McIntyre's waist anytime soon. There's no need whatsoever for Drew McIntyre to lose this championship. Some people actually fear Bobby Lashley winning the championship. I'll tell you what, I really hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised. Drew McIntyre will retain his WWE Championship against Bobby Lashley. This is a showcase for Bobby Lashley to show that he's more than what people think he is. Will he do it? We don't know. We don't know. The greatest wrestling match ever will not happen in 2020. It's happened many, many moons ago. Many moons ago. Edge versus Randy Orton. Edge comes back, beats Randy Orton in a last man standing match that was very boring at WrestleMania. And now we have a match that's being titled The Greatest Wrestling Match Ever. Will this be a good match? Yes. Will this be a match you'll go back and watch? Probably. Will it be the best wrestling match ever? No. No. It will not be anything close to the best wrestling match ever. The way that WWE has really just built Backlash is just sickening. I mean, I'm trying so hard to care. I really am. I really am. Edge versus Randy Orton. What happens in this match? A lot of chaos. Now, before people say that this match should have been a stipulation match, I don't think so, and here's why. The thing about early summer in WWE is that it gives a chance for a lot of matches to finish and culminate at SummerSlam, which is one of their biggest shows of the year. Meaning that Randy Orton will win this match. Now, you would think based on the Peep Show or Christian's calling out of Edge that it would result in Edge winning, but Edge already won at WrestleMania, and Edge winning at WrestleMania is what needed to happen. As far as what happens on Backlash, Randy Orton should win this match. It should be a good match. I would pray they don't have the audacity to make this a complete shit show. And again, that's another thing, is that they've already taped this match because I'm sure WWE wants it to come off exactly how they want it. Because if this had happened live, not live in general, live with a crowd, Randy Orton will win this match, and it should set up for a rubber match at SummerSlam, which would probably give Edge the win. Do any of those men, this is outside thinking, do any of those men hold a title leading up to SummerSlam? No need for Edge to have any type of title, but Randy Orton could have a title. Randy Orton's been doing some of the best work in, I think, recent years on television. I'm going with Randy Orton to win the greatest wrestling match ever. It is not the greatest wrestling match ever. But again, WWE will do anything just to get a little bit of buzz. This is Nick's World. This was your Backlash preview and predictions. I hope everyone does whatever they can to enjoy the show on Sunday. I hope you don't have to drink yourself to sleep. I may be heavily intoxicated come halfway point of the show. Whatever it takes to get through it. Ladies and gentlemen, continue to stay safe. Go nowhere else.